Hello, this is Jason with Insightful Automation. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the campaign builder, and this is our first video for advanced campaign tactics. And what we're going to be talking about today is goal triggering. And I came across something when troubleshooting for a client that I thought was kind of tricky. The campaign builder behaved in a way that I wouldn't have expected. So if I'm looking at this campaign, um, and just as a brief overview of what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about how campaign goals actually skip through other campaign goals. So if we're looking at this, and you can see right now I've got a purchase goal that moves into a sequence, and that sequence moves into a goal. And then there are three other sequences after this API goal. And then finally, there is a tagging goal at the very end. So what was happening with this particular client's app was that people were being removed from this sequence before the posts could go out to the website to create the iMember user. So we were looking at it, and this goal wasn't being achieved. Well, it turns out that this goal was being achieved by something else. And there was a place that they were getting another tag that was achieving the same goal. So basically what was happening, this goal was was pulling the contact out of this sequence. And when the client had put this together, they assumed that this goal could only be would only remove people from these three sequences and not from this sequence. So this kind of brings us to a couple of issues. Well, how could we solve this? One way that we determined that was useful to solve it was that we could split these two things apart by breaking this section here. If we just move this over a bit and duplicating this goal, this broke the connection between these two sequences. So now this couldn't be stopped by this tag. So kind of segmenting this in a way and using these termination goals properly, we could prevent this type of thing from happening. So that when they got in here, even if the tag was achieved here, the contact wouldn't be necessarily in these sequences yet because this had not run. And then when this sequence did, the free member generation API goal was completed, they would get put into the welcome, but this tag would have already been achieved. They would already have that, and that would be that would prevent the problem from occurring. Now, what happened later on is that, okay, knowing this, we see that there's this break here. Now, the client then decided that it was necessary to split this. So we didn't need to create a member for people that already had members. We could just apply a tag and then send them the welcome. No need to create the member. We could run an update sequence here. So by doing this, in the client's mind, this would continue to behave where this part was broken, it wouldn't be taken out. But because this line gets connected, it actually influences this area with the member tagging and setup. So what we saw was that this now started to behave the same way, making this connection. It wasn't these two separate sequences anymore. It actually became a one sequence again. And this now broke this apart. So it has to be, you have to be very careful with how your sequences match up. So in the end, it became necessary to further split this sequence. And so I'll show you what we ended up having to do. And that was to create a tag goal here. Let's see. That would only be applied through this sequence and then jump them across. Now, this is a kind of a complicated setup. And all of this could have been achieved by not using this tag here, but coming up with a different solution for the problem. And that problem could be solved by not using the member level tags to achieve goals, but using what could be called a button tag to achieve the goals. So just applying the membership tag wouldn't achieve goals elsewhere in the campaign, but you could use the button to complete a goal when you wanted that goal to be completed. But simply giving somebody a membership tag wouldn't achieve any goals anywhere in the campaign, so your goals could be more predictable. So hopefully this showed you something maybe you're not familiar with, and hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments in the comment section below, and happy automating.